Good morning, Joe Winebanks.
Good morning, Stephanie. How are you?
It's our 15-year anniversary this week.
Really?
Yes.
Yes.
And we just
Hey,
and you are our best new thing, I have to
Yes.
say.
thank you. Congratulations on your anniversary.
Aw,
I tweeted your congratulations. I hope you saw it.
Thank you. So listen, you tweeted, I support the House Judiciary Committee's broadening the scope of its investigation and public hearings. The alternative leaves 45 unaccountable, sets the stage for worse behavior. Great point. So talk to me. Can I just say, I don't know why, Chuck Todd seemed to be like poo-pooing that the Democrats actually are impeaching. I felt like Brian Williams sort of echoed that. What is your take on it? Because I know that you and other legal experts have said they are going about this exactly the right way. What do you think?
Well, I know everyone wants a much faster approach than we are getting, and I do too. I mean, who
Right.
doesn't want a faster approach? But we have to do it in a very methodical, due process-oriented way. You don't want to do something that will deny due process to any potential defendant, including, of course, the president. And so I think that steps have to be taken to set up the rules. And I think if you look at what happened during Watergate, you will find that a lot of time was spent first by the Senate in doing an investigation, something that, of course, under Mitch McConnell will never happen.
Mm-hmm.
But during the Watergate era, under Senator Ervin, there was a very thorough public airing of information that set the basis for further action of the House Judiciary Committee. And then, of course, you had our indictment, which set forth very specific allegations, and our roadmap, which we, as opposed to anybody else, we actually went to court and said the grand jury wants this information to go to the House because we think that's the appropriate venue for holding the president accountable. Based on Leon Jaworski's opinion that he thought that that was a better way to go, having this political option, that's what happened. So everything came to the House Judiciary Committee. They had the information they needed. In the current case, they are being thwarted.
Yep.
Now,
Yep.
they do have some other options. They could try holding, for example, McGahn in contempt. As a lawyer, he has an obligation to hold information confidential, which is what he's claiming as one of the reasons for non-cooperating. But if he is held in contempt, the rules of ethics for lawyers allow him to protect himself by talking. And so, there are other tools available to the House Judiciary Committee, and, I hope they will pursue every single avenue they possibly can to get to the truth.
Now,
Get
Jill,
the truth before the public.
yeah, and I know that you said that you are, you obviously are very supportive of the way they're doing. They're doing the Nixon template, aren't they, in terms of impeachment, which I like, too, that there's more time and that there's actual prosecutors are going to ask the questions. You're not having politicians grandstanding for the camera, right?
That's very important. I've said that from the very beginning, and it's not true just in an impeachment inquiry. In all of the hearings that we've seen publicly where you have this 5-minute arbitrary rule to give every member of Congress a chance to shine on television, it's not an effective method of questioning a witness. It's not an effective tool for getting the facts really before the public in a digestible fashion.
Right.
You want to have a question and a follow-up and another follow-up and another follow-up. And no matter what questions you lay out, when you're cross-examining someone, or even on direct examination, although direct you have a chance to prepare the witness, you end up going down a bunch of different paths because you get an answer that you didn't expect, so you need to follow up on that. And then you come back to your list of questions. And then you go down another path. And then you go back to your questions. But when you have 5-minute rule, that doesn't happen. And so points do not get developed in a way that's meaningful to the public.
And isn't, Jill, the other difference here is just, you look at just this week, just last week, there's such a blistering array of impeachable offenses and, corruption right out, right, like someone said, either Nixon or the mob at least had the decency to try to hide it. I mean, isn't the sheer volume, being serious, like, isn't the sheer volume of this part of the challenge.
It definitely is, and one of the reasons that we haven't got the public focused enough on any one thing is because every day it's a new one thing, and
Right.
it changes. You know, you had last week you had Pence and you had the Air Force staying at Trump properties, which are clear violations of at least the appearance of conflict of interest, the appearance of using your office for financial gain for yourself. I mean, these are bad things. And
As you said, this is what the emoluments.
fired.
You were saying this was what the emoluments clause was written for, right?
It is, yes, of course. It was intended, and the emoluments clause enforcement is impeachment. So we should be thinking about the fact that we need to investigate this. Now, I don't know all the details. I have heard the White House say that they gave the government rate, or the acknowledged government rate, to the Air Force officials staying there. Well, that's interesting, but it still doesn't explain why they were there in the beginning. Why did they refuel at a private airport at a huge increase over what it would have cost at a military base? Why were they there? What made them stay there? Why did Pence stay so far away that he needed a helicopter to get to his meeting, which of course adds to the expense? There are so many whys. You know, during Watergate, that was in the closing argument, and I cannot mimic a Tennessee accent the way Jim said the word why in 2 syllables, but he did. And he kept asking, but why? And I keep asking, but why? And until we have those answers, we're going to continue to be flummoxed. And he keeps changing the subject day by day. Something happens that threatens America as a result of his actions.
Your tweets just sort of like, it kind of echo the chaos and just that we all are going through every day. You tweeted, I'll be on NPR talking about outrageous stay of Pence at Scottish Trump property in Air Force One. And and then you said, sorry, not on NPR today talking about emoluments because Trump diverted attention from those violations and conflicts by doing something worse to America. He canceled peace talks with Afghanistan.
Right.
I mean, you just...
Peace talks that would have included the Taliban at Camp David on the anniversary of 9/11.
Right.
I mean...
Your tweet right before that...
That is today. Why would he be there?
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, he couldn't have been there today. He has to be at memorial ceremonies.
Right.
Yeah.
But, oh, well, he doesn't think of that.
I mean, your tweet right before that is about Sharpiegate. You said, where's the staff member with the brains and courage to stop 45 from insane and criminal acts? I mean, it's...
Exactly.
Yeah.
And did you see the wonderful cartoon of Sharpay?
Yes. You and I are both dog lovers. The president has a dog, a Sharpay.
Exactly. And there it was, a little picture of him walking across the lawn with a Sharpay attached to a drawn line with a Sharpie.
No. Jill, you tweeted, follow the money, help convict Watergate defendants, and with an abuse of power of office, force the resignation of Nixon. Both are equally applicable to Trump. This is what I don't understand, is why we're getting so far ahead. I keep saying this, Jill, is Mitch McConnell's a coward. If Trump's numbers, look at how they're plummeting now, and we haven't even started televised impeachment hearings. Don't get 17 steps ahead. And I loved what AOC said yesterday. She said, good, put Mitch McConnell and Republicans on record when we build this devastating case. I just do not get why anyone thinks this would be bad politically. Let me run one other, because I know you and I are both impatient and Pelosi fans. So Representative Harley Ruda, you know who he is, right? Democrat out here in Orange County, which is a very conservative district. He told me this on Pelosi and impeachment. There's an old adage about a frog. If you throw it in boiling water, it jumps out. But if you put it in warm water and turn on the heat, it will swim around until it's cooked. The speaker is cooking the president. Do you agree? Because there are people that are saying they are doing this exactly the right way, and that the what do they call it? The red line is the finances. Right?
I like that analogy a lot. I am someone who believes in the rule of law and due process and justice. And so I do think we need to do this a step at a time. It took not only Irvin, who was brilliant, but it took an even more incredibly talented Peter Rodino in the House Judiciary Committee to bring along the Southern Democrats, the equivalent today of the purple Democrats,
right.
The red state Democrats, and the Republicans to vote for impeachment. It took a lot of time and effort to get the facts out so that it was beyond doubt. And I will admit that we did have, at the end, a smoking gun tape, which is what led him to resign. If it hadn't been for that, there would have been impeachment hearings, no doubt. Now, the evidence was totally clear without that tape. I mean, we returned indictments before we knew about that tape, in which you can hear the president in June, days after the break-in, saying, let's use the CIA to stop the FBI from following the money, because the check that was used to create the cash that was on the burglars was from a campaign contribution. And the money could have been traced because of the serial numbers. So we did have proof of all of the money before that. It's just hearing them say, let's use the CIA, clear abuse of power.
Right, but legal
that made a difference.
Right, legal point of order, Counselor. Don't we have a smoking arsenal at this point on Trump? I mean,
I said that. I think in the first, certainly in the first month that I was on television, Brian Williams asked me, did I think I could make an obstruction case? And at the time I said, I think I can. And that became the ad for his show for quite a long while.
Yep, I remember.
And now I know I can, because if you read the Mueller report, it lays out clear obstruction of justice with ample evidence of all the elements of the crime, so that as a prosecutor, and I, with 999 plus other lawyers, more than 1,000 former federal prosecutors signed a letter saying that there is a clear obstruction case, and that but for the Office of Legal Counsel opinion, he would have been indicted.
And that's now, I don't know how many impeachable offenses ago, but I remember, because that was the first time I said, Travis, you got to get me that lady. Get me that lady.
Thank you. I'm so glad that he did.
Get me Pin Lady now.
But it's difficult.
Jill, we're so grateful for your time. I know you're oh my God, congratulations on that piece with all the legal ladies. You're all the rock stars.
That was so much fun for all of us to be together for the day.
And we link to it at stephaniemiller.com.
Yeah. All my legal ladies, all my rock stars. Oh my God, you really are. You guys are just we
had a great day, and I now have a publication date for my book.
What is it?
My birthday, May 5th, is going to be the date of release.
Oh my God!
Congratulations!
I cannot wait. Well, you are calming and inspiring so many people, just that are so concerned about the rule of law. So thank you, as always. We love you to death, Jill.
Thank you you for having me on your show, and I'm going to be with your followers, who are called Steph Heads, for the March 21st March in Chicago.
Oh, yes, with Karen in Chicago, the whole crew. All right, fantastic. All right, Jill.
Exactly. Thank you.
Talk to you soon. All right, there she goes.